Hi guys, this is Tuesday the 28th lesson of April. I'm going to be talking more about graphing lines today. It's what we did the other day, but now we're going to use less than, greater than, and equal to, or less than and equal to symbols as well. So you're going to see that on your graph. So it's going to add just a little layer of difficulty on it, not too bad. There should be the symbol up here that looks like this, but it got cut off by the dots in my thing. So this symbol, if you'll remember, is greater than or equal to. And if you graph this on a line, it's going to be a straight line. The next symbol is less than or equal to. And that one, again, you will graph with just a straight line. Anytime you see the or equal to sign, it's a straight line. The next one down is just the less than sign. When we graph this, it's going to look like a dotted line. So like we graphed the lines yesterday, these lines, instead of a regular old line, it's going to be a dotted one. The next one down is the greater than sign. And again, because it doesn't have the or equal to, it would be graphed the dotted line. So you're going to start when you're graphing at the y-intercept. Remember from yesterday, that is the last number in y equals mx plus b. The last number. And then you're going to move the slope. And remember from Tuesday's lesson, the top number means you're moving up or down. The bottom number means you're going to the right. And then you're going to draw either a dotted or a solid line. And then you're going to shade. So this one has a couple more steps than the last one. Okay, so for this first example, we're going to do y is less than 1/2 x minus 6. So again, if you look at your notes up here, the first step is to start at the y-intercept. So we start by putting a dot on -6 on the y-line. So there's our first dot. Then you're going to move the slope. Remember, that's this number right here. The top number tells you to go up or down. The bottom number tells you to go to the right. And since it's a positive 1, we're going to go up 1. The bottom number is 2, so we're going to do right 2. Draw another dot. We're going to do that a couple times. Up 1, right 2, draw a dot. Up 1, right 2, draw a dot. Okay, so those are our dots that we're going to connect to the line. Now we have to decide, is it going to be a dotted line or a solid line? Because there isn't an or equal to sign here, it's just a less than sign, it means we're going to draw a dotted line. I'm going to draw it nice and big so it covers my whole graph. And then you can see it says it is less than this. So this is how I remember this. Picture that you're sledding down this hill, the dotted line that we just drew. You're sledding down. So here you are, you're the little dude on a sled, or a snowboard. That looks way more like a snowboard. So if you're on top of it, that is greater than. If you're below it, like you're buried in the ground, just hit an avalanche, that's less than. So less than is you're buried in the ground when you're sledding. So I'm going to shade my buried in the ground, because this would be in the ground, like I just went underneath for an avalanche. We are luckily on top of the earth still, so we're good. So that's the side that would be shaded. Okay, the next one that we're going to graph is y is greater than or equal to 4x plus 3. Again, you're going to start at the y-intercept, which is a positive 3. Last time it was negative, so that's why we started down there. It's a positive 3, so we're going to go ahead and put a dot right here. The slope is 4. Remember, we said if it's just a whole number, you're going to put it over 1. So the slope is 4 over 1, which means we're going up 4, because it's a positive 4, and right 1. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, and right 1. Last time we made a couple dots, but this time we can't because we'll fall off the graph if we do that. All right, This time your symbol is greater than or equal to. So that means it's a solid line. So we're going to draw a solid line. Make it go all the way through your graph. All right, this time we're greater to. So again, pretend like you're snowboarding on the hill. Here's my dude. I know I'm an awesome drawer. Don't be jealous. Snowboarding down the hill. If you are greater than, it means you're in the sunshine. You're up in the sky. Remember, less than means you'd be buried in an avalanche. So we are greater than this time, which means that we're going to shade right over dude. Snowboarder dude, greater than is on this side. All right, I would take a picture of this for your notes since nobody probably wanted to jot this down on their own piece of paper because that would not be any fun with all of the graphs, unless you were lucky and have a printer and were able to print this out. Okay, that is the end of page 1. We have one more page of notes, and then I will post your homework with this. Okay, I decided to do these in 6 short video clips because I wanted you to be able to see. And I just want you to be aware that while I'm writing this, my son is complaining about his algebra homework, so he feels your pain. Aren't you glad you're not stuck in a house with me right now? All right, so first one we're going to do. Y equals, nope, not equals, hold on. Y is less than or equal to a negative 2/3 x plus 2. All right, positive 2 is our y-intercept. So we are starting with a dot on positive 2. The slope is a negative 2/3, which means because it's negative, we're going to go down 2, and we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, draw a dot. We have room to fit that one more time. Down 2, over 3, draw another dot. It is the less than or equal to sign, which means it's going to be a solid line. Okay, less than. Remember, less than means you're buried in the ground. It's the bottom. Greater than is on top. So you can see the sunshine when you're in greater than. So less than means we're going to shade on this side. It's under the ground. Always think about it like a hill that you're sledding down, a hill that you're skiing down, a hill that you're standing on. Less than is under you. It's under your feet. It's less than you are. Greater than is above you. Okay? Go ahead and screenshot that one if you'd like, and I will go on to the next slide. Okay, for this one we're going to do the opposite of what we did last time. So y is greater than or equal to a positive 2/3 x this time, minus 2. So we have a minus 2 for our y-intercept. Remember, that's always where we start. We start at the bottom, or at the back of the problem. So on the negative 2, on the y-line, I'm going to put a dot in there. The slope is a positive 2/3 this time, so it means I'm going to go up 2 and over 1, 2, 3. Up 2 over 1, 2, 3. Do that a couple times to make my line straight. So that was the slope that I just moved. Now I'm looking at this symbol. It has the line underneath of it, which means it's going to be a straight line because it could be equal to that line. It's greater than, which means I'm going to shade in the sunshine this time. So if I'm standing on the hill, that's on my part of the hill. So I am shading all of this. Okay, go ahead, take a screenshot of that one, and we'll move on to the next example. All right, in this one we're going to do y is less than positive 1/4 x minus 3. So our y-intercept is a minus 3, which means negative 3. So that's where I'm starting with my dot. My slope is 1/4. It's a positive, so I go up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a dot. Up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. I ran off the grid a little bit, but that's okay. It is just a less than sign, which means that it's going to be a dotted line. Okay, less than. that's underneath the earth. So if I'm my slider dude, underneath the earth is down here. That's it for slide number 4. Take a screenshot if you'd like. Remember, you can use all these screenshots that you take on your quizzes coming up. We'll probably have a quiz next week. For slide number 5, we're going to do y is greater than a negative 2x. Okay, negative 2x. There's nothing at the end. So nothing is 0. So you could think that this had a plus 0 at the end. So your y-intercept is at 0. Okay, from there, you're moving your slope. Your slope doesn't have anything under it, so we put it under a 1. It's a negative 2, so we go down 2 over 1, put it out. Down 2 over 1, put it out. It is just a less than sign, so put a dotted line. Oh, sorry, I said it was a less than. It's a greater than sign, so greater means you're on top. So you're going to shade the top of that one. All right, page 6 is going to be y is less than or equal to 4. There is no x on this question, and there is no y-intercept on this question. This was one like yesterday. So on the actual y line, we're going to put a dot on 4. Or not yesterday, Tuesday's lesson. If you remember from Tuesday's lesson, y equals 4 the whole way across this line. So both directions it equals to 4. So we're going to put a solid line, because that's what we're equal to. A solid line in both directions right on the y line, which I'm not doing a good job at hitting right now. Okay, it's less than that, so it's a little easier to see when it's a straight up and down line, but less are the numbers below 4. So 3 is less than 4, 2 is less than 4, 1 is less than 4, negative 1 is less than 4, negative 2. So it's everything under it for less than. So you're going to shade everything underneath of that line, because all these numbers here are less than 4. Okay? So that is how that one works. Go ahead and screenshot that. The last one that we're going to look at today is x. This time, instead of a y, it's starting with an x. So something different is going to happen here. You should take note on that. Is less than a negative 3. So on the x line this time, which is this one here, you're going to put a dot at negative 3. We did one like this on last week's lesson as well. It is going to be a dotted line this time that goes up and down because it's just a less than line. Sorry, my dog is freaking out in the background. Okay, it is less than that. So numbers less than negative 3. Negative 4 is less than that. Negative 5 is less than that. Negative 6 is less than that. Negative 7 is less than that. Think of that like owing your parents money, that you would have less money every time you owed them more. So the shading is going to be on this side of the line for this question. That is the end of this lesson. So you are going to have a front and back graphing page. I'll do my best to get it as clear as possible. I know that some of these aren't turning out the best for you, but I will try to make that so that you can read it. And if you don't have the ability to print this at home, you can just draw yourself a graph again. Just put some little slash marks for the x's and y's, and do your best you can to make it look like what it's supposed to on this one. You can also, if you want to mess around with some graphing calculator apps, there are ways to do that on there, so you can see them on there as well. That just depends on what you want to do. But I'll need to see both of those pages. You don't have this one, so I will need to see both of those pages. And again, it can just be work on a lined piece of paper. Have a good day. I hope everyone's staying healthy and having a nice time. And I will talk to you again on Thursday.